quoth the raven, nevermore. Who can forget that famous line from Edgar Allan Poe's classic poem, The Raven? Now if you're looking for quotes, check out Bartlett's Book of Quotations. Let me see if I can find a good one. Oh yes, my aching back is killing me. Someone give me a Percocet. That's from Emily Dickinson's immortal poem, Where the Lilies Sting.
Honey, the plumber is coming today. What did I do with his quote?
What do I look like? The quote expert?
Never mind, oh great Professor Edward Bernays-Sauce.
Never mind, oh great Professor Edward Bernays-Sauce. My wife has a wonderful ability to make me feel like a child.
Sorry to bother you, honey, but you left your I hate mommy sign in your sock drawer.
I'll be alright in a second. Just need to get my frustrations out. There, I feel better now. Now, let's talk about how to use quotes in a press release. Why do you use a quote? You use a quote to get inside a person's head. When a quote can add something extra to the story. You need something more than, "It was good." Recognize this place? It's the Over and Done Steakhouse. Thanks to our earlier installments of the press release, we know the Over and Done Steakhouse is opening on the 17th. We know all the 5 W's. But maybe a quote can give us a greater insight into why the owner decided to open the steakhouse. Ah, here comes our owner now. Lord Howard Hertz. It's good to see you again.
Great to see you again, Doctor.
Thank you, but we can dispense with the formalities. Don't call me Doctor. Just call me Professor. Professor Edward Bernays-Sauce at your service.
Won't you please sit down, Professor?
I didn't know I could drink all that wine so fast.
Now how can I help you, Professor?
We know you opened this restaurant to give the people of this area a fine dining experience, but can you add something more? Something really interesting.
I opened the steakhouse because as a child my mother refused to let me eat steak. I had to eat nothing but tofu. I grew to hate my mother.
That's very interesting.
So I swore when I grew up I would go into the steak business. And I'm also taking medication for my tofu addiction.
And I thought I had a problem with sheep. Thank you, Sir Howard. It's great to see you again. I'm here with head chef Hedley Cook. Chef Cook, why do you think the Over and Done Steakhouse will be successful?
Because the Over and Done Steakhouse serves the greatest steaks of all time. That's why.
Thank you, Chef Cook. We can't use Chef Cook's quote because I don't know what the hell he said. If you do, you can email me. A UN interpreter told me it was advertising. Don't sneak advertising into your releases with your quotes. Editors are too smart for that. Sir Howard's reason for why he opened his steakhouse certainly is, shall we say, unique, but using his quote makes the story more interesting because it comes directly from him. It lets us get inside his head, so to speak. Hello, dear. What a pleasant surprise. You're serving me dinner. I don't deserve it.
Actually, you don't deserve it. I'm just passing through. My mother is eating dinner in her room. As Marie Antoinette said, let them eat hot dogs. That's a quote. And, you can quote me on that.
I polished off the hot dogs and for dessert my wife left me a donut and some coffee. Now where was I? Oh yes. A good quote can add to the most important W's in your story. If the most important W is why, your second paragraph expands on the why, and that's where the quote explaining the why should go. And so forth. How many quotes? How many times can you answer the why question, or the who question, or the what question? Or, even the where or when questions? Now, as you can see by these future public relations professionals, that we all know that you only add the number of quotes that add to the story. Right, Joey? Joey in his own unique way just asked a really good question. Who do you get your quotes from? I know what you're thinking. I love my coffee. Actually, there's vodka in here. Without some help from my liquid friend, Those students will drive me to drink. Here's an example of who to quote in your press release. Now, we see here a fire. It's a dangerous situation if it's not taken care of. They're still adorable at that age, but completely inappropriate to quote in our story. Now here are people we could quote, because they're part of the story. Hey Chief. What can you tell us about the fire?
Well, the fire was very bright and very hot. But we got it.
And there you have it. This press release will tell of the fire that broke out in the Apex Rubber Company's warehouse. We want to know how it happened. Instead of writing in the third person, we could get a quote from the chief. The story now gives us a first-hand comment from someone involved in the story. Remember, don't overuse quotes. Use them only to add color and insight. So, the next time you write a press or news release, use quotes that add to the story and don't advertise. And you can quote me.
Quick honey, quotes for 1000. Who said your dinner's cold because you're 3 hours late for dinner?
That's a stumper.